Let me tell you something, Pack Nation. So last night, it is late, I cannot sleep, and the algorithm throws me a Bears video. Poles cooked again after Bears make two signings that are steals. That is the actual title. Ryan Poles cooked again after signing two backup players that together cost less than $3 million. I watched the whole thing, every minute. And by the end, I am standing in my kitchen at 1 in the morning talking to nobody. So here we are. But I have to set the table because you cannot understand how ridiculous this video is without understanding where the Bears actually are right now. And that means I have to do something I do not enjoy. I have to talk about January. I have to be a man about it. Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter, 361 yards, coming back from 21-3 at halftime. I watched it. I am not going to pretend it did not happen. It hurt. It hurt bad. You understand me? Here is what also happened. The Green Bay Packers that lost that game had been without Micah Parsons for 5 weeks. Torn ACL, December 14th. Gone. The man who had 12 and a half sacks, 83 pressures on the season, the most dominant pass rusher in the entire NFL that year, not on the field. And without him, we lost 5 games in a row to close the season. 5. We limped into the playoffs, 9-7-1. We were the 7 seed, Pack Nation. The 7 seed. That is not the Green Bay Packers at full strength. That is the Green Bay Packers at half power, trying to hold it together for one more game. And the Bears, 11-6, home field, number 2 seed, everything going their way. And Caleb Williams did not win that game until the fourth quarter when our defense, running on empty after carrying a stalled offense for 2.5 quarters, finally ran out of gas. I am not making excuses. I am stating facts. Know the difference. Now, what happened the very next week when the Bears faced an actual, complete, healthy football team, when they played the Rams, who, by the way, finished 12-5 in the divisional round? Caleb Williams threw 3 interceptions, 3, including 1 in overtime. Rams won 20-17. Game over, season over. The Bears packed up their stuff and went home in the second round. So let me get this straight. The Bears beat a wounded, limping, Parsons-less, 5-game losing streak Green Bay Packers team in the wild card. They did not win the division championship game. They did not win the conference championship. They did not go to the Super Bowl. They won 1 playoff game and got bounced in overtime 2 weeks later. And this man, this full-grown adult man, is on the internet giving Ryan Poles a B+ for signing James Lynch. James Lynch, Pack Nation. 1 year, $1,315,000. Backup defensive tackle. Was on the Tennessee Titans last year. 25 total tackles, half a sack. The man had half a sack. And this video, this real video that exists on the internet in 2026 is describing Ryan Poles as having cooked because he found this man on the street and gave him a 1-year minimum deal. He cooked. That is the word. He cooked like he went into a kitchen and came out with something you would serve at a restaurant. What Poles made is not a restaurant meal. It is a gas station sandwich that held together long enough to get you to your next exit. That is not cooking. That is surviving. And then they bring back Jack Sanborn, hometown kid, linebacker from Lake Zurich, left for Dallas for 1 year. Now he is back. 1 year, $1.2 million. And the reason this is a great signing, and I am not making this up, I watched the whole video. Stay with me here. The reason this is a great signing is that Jack Sanborn can talk to his teammates about Dennis Allen's defense informally over sandwiches or whatever. He knows the locker room. That is the competitive advantage. A man who can have a conversation. Brother.
And I want to be clear. I am not saying the Bears are a bad team. Caleb Williams is real. I will say that to your face. What he did in the fourth quarter against us was real. Ben Johnson can coach. The offense has pieces. I am a fair man. But fair also means I am allowed to point out that you beat a 9-7-1 team playing on fumes without its best defensive player. You played one game against the whole team and you got eliminated in overtime with 3 interceptions from your quarterback. And now, 2 months later, you are grading your general manager's offseason on a report card and he is getting a B+. B+ for what? B+ for depth signings? B+ for keeping cap space clean while not actually solving the thing that ended your season? The Rams put 4 sacks on Caleb Williams in that divisional game. 4. He threw into coverage 3 times and the season was over. And Ryan Poles' answer is Jack Sanborn and a veteran defensive tackle with half a sack who knows the NFC North? You know what this reminds me of? You ever see one of those hardware store infomercials? And I am not making this up. I have seen one of these at 2 a.m, and I could not stop watching. The ones where they sell you this amazing piece of equipment. Beautiful design, great storage, all these features. And the whole infomercial is just talking about the machine, the pulley system, the folding mechanism, how compact it is. And you realize at the end, they never once showed you a single person who got results from this thing. Because the machine was always the product. They sold you the process and hoped you never asked about the outcome. That is Bears fandom right now. The cap space is the product. The long-term contracts are the product. The depth pieces on 1-year deals are the product. And it is beautiful. It really is. But at the end of the day, you went 1-1 in the playoffs. Your quarterback threw 3 picks in his biggest game, and the guy who beat you is already in the NFC Championship. And the video, am I crazy? The video says, and I am quoting here, I am tired of the 2-year windows. I have seen 3-year gaps my whole life. 29 years of this. He says it out loud. He diagnoses himself. And then in the same breath, the same video, he pivots and says, but Ryan Poles has a plan and this cycle is going to be different. Brother, you diagnosed a disease. You described it in detail. And then you immediately caught the disease again. That is not optimism. That is a medical condition. Here's what I want Bears fans to understand. And I say this with respect for what Caleb Williams did in January. I do. I mean that. But the Green Bay Packers that you beat were not the Green Bay Packers. Not fully. You beat us at our worst with our best player rehabbing an ACL in a training room somewhere. You want to claim that win? Fine, claim it. It still counts. But do not use a wild card win over a limping 7 seed as proof that your depth signing philosophy is genius and your general manager deserves a B+
for finding guys nobody else wanted badly enough to pay real money for. Because this time next year, and I want you to write this down, save this audio, find it in September, Micah Parsons is going to be healthy. He is going to be on that field in green and gold for opening day. The most terrifying pass rusher in this league. 12.5 sacks in 14 games before his knee gave out. Back, healthy, angry, and Caleb Williams, who I will remind you threw 3 picks against the Rams defense that had nobody close to Micah Parsons, is going to need more than Jack Sanborn knowing the locker room vibe to deal with what is coming. Pack Nation, I am Big Sal from Peshtigo, Wisconsin. Did January hurt? Yes. Will I survive? Yes, because I know what this team looks like when it is whole. I know what Parsons does to a quarterback. I know what Jordan Love does when he has a pass rush protecting his defense. And I know that one overtime divisional loss after one wild card win is not a dynasty. It is a promising season. That is all it is. Bears fans, enjoy the B+. Enjoy Jack Sanborn talking football over his lunch break. Enjoy the cap space and the cycle philosophy and the long-term contract charts. We will be here when September gets here, and we will have something to say. You are not subscribed to Let Me Tell You Something on the Packernet Podcast Network yet? After all of that, what is wrong with you? Hit the button. Tell a friend. Tell a Bears fan. Lord knows they need something real to listen to. Go, Pack, go.